So I want to say welcome, and then just really truly welcome again. We are thrilled that you're here. We don't take lightly the fact that you've taken your time to come and celebrate these beautiful graduates this year. So again, welcome each and every one of you, our distinguished guests, our faculty, our family, our friends, our lovers, our partners. I don't know if there might be a pet or two out there that snuck in, hopefully so. So the question I think to begin with is, who are we who are thrilled? What is this school for cultural and social transformation that convenes us? Now, last year I said, and I still believe, and I've been asked to repeat, if you take the coolest dance troupe, wed it to a protest, link it to a book club that reads the hippest books, and make it sing with fiery joy, a joy that breaks barriers, confronts institutions, soothes wounds, cracks jokes, dresses rad, and calls things what they are, you have transformed. The School for Cultural and Social Transformation is as if galactic performer Beyonce and political leader Cesar Chavez and race-sex comedian Margaret Cho and trans disability theorist Eli Clare and indigenous lands activist LaDonna Brave Bull Allard with immigration activist Marisa Franco and author Oscar Wilde all got together and had a brainchild. We are it. And together I'm just going to say, we're change. All of us here are making change, feeling change, wanting some change. All of us gathered for this second convocation for the School for Cultural and Social Transformation, which is not yet 3 years old, by the way. So I'll speak to change, but let's speak to history for a vital moment. There is something that we say whenever we gather, and it never gets routine. It will never be routine. All of us together stand on native land, mindful of the history that saturates this soil, sacred ground that must be acknowledged. The traces of native cultures are around us, and we must not just honor them, but learn from the power and spirit of traces. So history and change. Let's talk about change. So I would say, hey, cool graduates, how have you changed? What's different for you now? What words are in your body? What emotions in your brains? Now, I'm an English professor, but I actually wish there were some machine by which we could see what is in your minds, how differently now your minds are configured. Because these are material transfers. Don't be fooled, right? We have put words into your bodies, and I do believe even 3 years from now you're going to say, oh my goodness, that is Dr. Sarita Gaitan right there. That phrase, that's Sarita in my person. That has crossed my skin-body boundary, and a phrase that she gave me is in my brain. You're going to remember something that Dr. Fong says today in his speech, something that Colton West tells you, and it will continue to live materially in your body. I hope you know that you have entered us in the strongest way possible. I went to Dr. Annie Fukushima's class this spring, and I heard things that have not left me yet, that have emotionally taken me to some new place. And many of you that I've talked with, many of you that I've worked with, many of you that have told me what change needs to happen on this campus, you are materially in me. And that's a profound thing. It's so material, I think it feels mystical in some respects. So the question is for you as you ponder today, really what is different about you physically and materially from this experience? Now, I would also ask parents and supporters, how have they changed? How have these beautiful graduates changed before your eyes over the years that they've been with us? A common answer that I hear from parents and students in our school is that you have more anger, that you seem more outraged. So let me speak to that, because that could seem bad in this time of fervent calls for less division, more civility, stronger norms of kindness. Strange as it sounds, I say, get mad. Get your anger on. Feel a sense of outrage. I know many of you do. Things are not okay. We can't pretend they are. So much of what is happening, take the widening gap of financial inequality, new bursts of white supremacy on top of old ones, the dangers of migration and incarceration, the murders of trans women of color. All of that is so worthy of our anger. But then what? That becomes the question. Where does anger get us? Where does anger get you? And one place I'm going to say it gets us, and it's pretty important, it is righteous fuel. That's why I'm never going to tell anybody to lose their anger, because it is righteous fuel. Let it propel you. And then I say, convert it. Convert that energy. Conversion is the goal. So if there's one phrase you take from me materially today, I want you to memorize that phrase. Conversion is the goal. Now, we hear a lot about conversion. Often it's a very religious context. So I want to take that word back and ask you how you will convert what is now inside you. Again, anger, a profound and important thing, but if we only had our anger, if we could not convert it, it would take us nowhere. I also want to point out that we human animals run on conversions, and many of them are strange. So right now, carbohydrates in our bodies are becoming glucose. That is happening, one material form to another. The labor of our bodies becomes a coin. That's a truthful thing and a sorrowful thing, two different material forms. A word you put in me can cause me pain. A word is not pain, but one material form takes another material form, and these are material transformations. So I want to say, conversion is the story, conversion is the goal. Ours must be an anger that is turning into beauty, that is birthing kindness, that is fierce around the edges. So what will you be crafting from your righteous anger? Please take that question with you. And how can you convert it to structural change? Because I think our smart undergraduates would tell us kindness needs to turn into structural change. We don't generally think of kindness in those terms. We think of it as an emotional thing, but if it does not lead to structural change, it is not kind, really, at its core. There's another phrase I love, and it's spoken by the poet Don Revelle about the trans-feminist poet Eli Shipley. Here's the phrase: outrage in perfect calm of mind. Outrage doesn't have to undo you. It doesn't have to unravel your thinking. It doesn't have to take something from you. Why can I be calm? Because I think outrageous thoughts. Now, the wily and angry political poet, William Butler Yeats, has taught me this. And you say, Catherine, isn't that an old, dead white guy? And I would say, yes, he is. And that's why I give him as Exhibit A, because I want you to know somebody that's truly famous in the old literary canon. Thank goodness the literary canon is changing. But somebody who's famous in the literary canon is actually famous for his political anger. And it's about decolonization. William Butler Yeats was angry about the fact that Great Britain had colonized Ireland. And that's a process of decolonization that is still happening right now. So I want to remind us of his profound anger. And then I want to tell you that he writes a famous poem about the calm that sits right beside his anger. The poem is called The Lake Isle of Innisfree. I'll just give you a few lines. And I remember that, heck, I would say, we have our own lake right nearby, all right? So here's the calm I would impart to you. This is what he writes. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There, midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's gray, I hear it in the deep heart's core. Outrage in perfect calm of mind. Take it with you and convert it. Ours must be an anger that is turning into beauty, that is birthing kindness, that is birthing structure, that is fierce around the edges. We go with you, material. Please know that. We are with you, we are in you, and you will stay with us. So much to convert from the deep heart's core. We adore you, class of 2019. There's no other word. We adore you. And let's all applaud this happy day. So some applause for our graduates. And now I give you the vibrant, the inspiring Colton West, our student speaker.
Hello everyone, my name is Colton West. I'm truly honored to be in front of you all today. And I want to take a moment and thank the faculty and staff in the School of Cultural and Social Transformation for all the hard work they've done to make our success and graduation possible. Truly, thank you. I would also like to congratulate all of you graduates for being here today and for all the hard work you've done to get to this moment. I want to give a special thanks to my mom and grandparents who have sacrificed so much to get me here. This is for you. Today, I'd like to talk to you all about failure. Allow me to begin with how my college journey began. My college journey began with the submission of my applications to college. I was hopeful to be the first in my family to graduate with a college degree, and I hoped to get there with an athletic scholarship. I was not a strong candidate, academically speaking, because I devoted all of my time and effort in high school to athletics, in the hope that I would receive an athletic scholarship. I quickly found myself at the end of my senior year with no athletic scholarship offer. To make things worse, I had just opened the envelope from the U that said I was not accepted. I felt as if I had failed in almost every aspect of my life. And for a brief time, I let myself believe that I wasn't college material. And I told myself college was no longer an option. I truly wanted to give up. But in the back of my mind, there was an unrelenting discontent with the idea that I was throwing away everything my grandparents and parents had worked so hard for. So I told myself, don't give up. There has to be another way. I sought out other paths to pursue in the hope that I could still get accepted at the U. And this is when I found the Diversity Scholars Program. I met with Rudy at the Diversity Scholars Program, and we were able to appeal the rejection. I found myself truly blessed with a second chance and a new beginning to attend the University of Utah. A new door had opened before me, one where I could pursue my dream of working as a healthcare provider. And this was the beginning of my college career. I soon found myself navigating the U, and on my first day, I remember sitting outside the old Osh building, thinking and waiting for someone to say, "What are you doing here?" But because of the diversity scholars, I had made friends, engaged in a community, and was reassured that I would succeed. It was then that I realized that I belonged and had nothing to fear. Since I was given a second chance, I told myself I was going to put all my effort into my studies and I was not going to give up. My freshman year progressed and I decided to major in nursing and consider medical school in the future. I always wanted to be a healthcare professional. When I was just a child, I'd watch my family navigate in and out of the hospital, and I constantly saw them go through so much pain that I could do nothing about. I wanted to be the one to help them, but I never could. My knowledge was too limited, and I could not understand what was occurring from a medical and physiological standpoint. All I knew was I wanted to be the one to understand and to help my family and others in similar situations. With the second chance I'd been given, I felt that this was something that was finally within my grasp. During the Diversity Scholars Program and my first ethnic studies course, I became intrigued and inspired, so much so that I decided to minor in ethnic studies. After my freshman year of college, I completed the Diversity Scholars Program and began my sophomore year of college. This was about the time when my grandmother was hospitalized and underwent a series of serious and complex surgeries. It was not until I spent the night on a wooden chair in her hospital room that I realized what she was experiencing in regards to her healthcare treatment. I was astonished to hear the nurse using not only microaggressions, but she was outright ignoring my grandmother. At that moment, I realized the gravity and how crucial ethnic studies and gender studies are to healthcare treatment. I began to deconstruct all the healthcare treatments my family had previously gone through, and because of ethnic studies, I was able to recognize the discriminations and disparities within their healthcare treatment. And I realized that ethnic studies was something I needed to be an expert in if I was ever going to incorporate cultural and linguistic appropriate responses so that one day I could provide holistic healthcare treatment. So I changed my major to ethnic studies and decided to delay nursing until I completed my ethnic studies degree. After I changed my major, I took another class with my professor and mentor, Dr. Fukushima, and this is the class where I was able to become a part of the undergraduate research program and was granted the opportunity to conduct my own research on the Latinas healthcare experience in Utah. Conducting this research provided an understanding of how race and gender intersect and impact one's healthcare treatment and experience. This study also solidified my desire to work in the healthcare industry. Despite all my failures, here I am today, succeeding in something I once thought impossible. It feels like my whole life has changed in just a few years, and it is difficult to express in words just how happy I was that I failed at something. The Diversity Scholars gave me a chance and a reason to never give up. My advice to you all is to remember the friends and family that helped you through the hard times. I hope that you all remember to eat with those that you starved with, and do not be afraid of what comes next. Because with an ethnic studies or gender studies degree, your options are wide open. So, class of 2019, as long as you never give up, I encourage you all to get out there and fail, because the opportunities that will arise after may just surprise you. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Congratulations to the class of 2019. What a remarkable pleasure and honor it is for me to greet and address you today. I'm Edmund Fong, Chair of the Division of Ethnic Studies in the School for Cultural and Social Transformation. And can you believe that the school is now celebrating almost 3 years of existence? I think we can all agree it really has been a whirlwind experience for all of us. So many changes have occurred, and we have really grown so much. Earlier this spring, we celebrated 50 years of ethnic studies as a field. And we had students and staff, faculty and friends and fellow travelers across the generations come together to share their memories of how they came to ethnic studies and what it has meant to them. What struck me across the many voices that day was how ethnic studies had been shaped by an ethics of care in cultivating a space beyond the given and customary, where we each might grasp the limits and constraints of the world and ask of each other, when and where do I enter? And in our presence towards one another, how might we imagine otherwise? The School for Cultural and Social Transformation is itself a product of that ethics of care. We would not be here without you, and nothing marks our journey more than celebrating the passage of our students, especially our early classes who have been with us from the beginning of the school's creation and have helped us build the community we would like to be. Perhaps I might share a personal memory. You see, when I was asked to give this address, I immediately recalled another moment, one that captured for me the nature of what kind of community we could build tethered together. It was November 10th, 2016. Yes, just 2 days before, the unthinkable had occurred, and we had gathered together on a clear and brisk night in downtown Salt Lake City to find solidarity out of incredulity, to share in our frustration and anxiety, amid signs like "we shall overcome" or "not my president." The few hundred of us gathered together came as strangers to each other, hoping to find catharsis, I suspect, in a way not possible with simply our friends or family, nor simply through mass media. The rally itself followed predictable lines. There were the usual defiant speeches, the customary chants. Perhaps one notable distinctive element that night was the large number of children and strollers that were present. After the opening speakers, we marched up Capitol Hill, and we paused midway up State Street for another round of remarks, and then something magical happened. It began when a section of the crowd started clearing some space. Apparently, there had been a marriage proposal between a lesbian couple. As I strained to hear and see the couple, the crowd began chanting. She said yes. She said yes. She said yes, slowly rolling across all of us on that hill under the stars on that clear, brisk night. We had suddenly been taken away somewhere else in that moment. We were no longer simply bound in reaction against something else. We had become what felt to me like a living, desiring, breathing community. We paused again when it was announced that a 10-year-old child named Jack was missing. And we all looked around until the child was reunited again with his parents. As we searched, a former student of mine from years ago spotted me and came over to say hi. We embraced, and he told me he got a lot out of my class. So much for the humble pleasures of an academic. The rally fragmented a short while after we reached the top. But midway up on that hill, I had experienced something that I will likely never forget. You see, we didn't need to reach the top of that hill. We were there all along next to each other. That moment and that community, however briefly achieved, calls forth one of my favorite passages from Ta-Nehisi Coates' book, Between the World and Me. As many of you know, the book is a trenchant and somber critique of race in America, specifically in societal investments in brutalizing black bodies. Written as a letter to Coates' own son, Samori, and harboring no illusions to what he calls, quote unquote, the dream, Coates' book eloquently illuminates American fantasies that render black people invisible, disposable, plunderable. Now, the searing irony at the heart of the book is that Coates appears to tell his own son not to dream. A father telling his own son not to dream. How can this be so? But the passage I often read to my classes offers an alternative vision, one not premised on what he calls the dream, but a vision of community there all along, forged in struggle, tethered to a chosen community, and an insurgent inheritance. I'd like to read that passage. That was a moment, a joyous moment, beyond the dream. A moment imbued by a power more gorgeous than any voting rights bill. This power, this black power, originates in a view of the American galaxy taken from a dark and essential planet, which is to say, the view taken in struggle. And black power births a kind of understanding that illuminates all the galaxies in their truest colors. Even the dreamers, lost in their great reverie, feel it. For it is Billy they reach for in sadness. And Mobb Deep is what they holler in boldness. And Isley they hum in love. And Dre they yell in revelry. And Aretha is the last sound they hear before dying. We have made something down here. We have taken the one-drop rules of dreamers and flipped them. They made us into a race. We made ourselves into a people. Here at the Mecca, under pain of selection, we have made a home, so as do all of us who have voyaged through death to life upon these shores. Class of 2019, I hope we have been able to build a home for you under pains but no less pleasures of selection. I hope we have offered the possibility for understanding all worlds in their truest colors and the ability to flip them and transform them otherwise. I hope you have been able to voyage with us as we seek to build something upon these shores. In turn, we face towards you, Class of 2019, to guide and inspire us. When you soar, so we will sing, and I won't sing. However impossibly high, though, those notes may be. And when you struggle, we will embrace you so that you may rekindle your resolve and your desire. And if you are lost, we will be here to gather you, all the pieces you are. Gather them so that you might find the right order again. Congratulations, Class of 2019. You have helped us, all of us, make something down here. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get active. Will the 2019 graduates please proceed to the stage for the awarding of degrees? And families and friends, whoever wants to take pictures, you will notice there's an empty row down here. So as you see your graduate coming across the stage, feel free to come on up, get the picture that you wish, and return to your original seat. And that way everybody will have a great photo opportunity. All right, let's get going.
Colton John West, major, ethnic studies.
Stephanie Aguilar Padilla Latu, major in ethnic studies, major in economics.
Ariel Flores Mena, major, management, minor, ethnic studies.
Adula Akau Biar, major in ethnic studies, major in political science, minor in sociology.
Dominic Hussein, major, ethnic studies, major, political science, minor, gender studies.
Ivan Paredes Romero, major in ethnic studies, major in Spanish.
Sarah Yuri, major, ethnic studies, major, elementary education.
Javier H. Hernandez, major in ethnic studies, major in Latin American studies, minor in history.
Juan Alejandro Salazar, major, gender studies, major, ethnic studies, major, sociology.
Luisa Alejandro Luga, major in ethnic studies, major in sociology.
Okay, Fine Kahomapa Inukiha Agana. I hope I said that right.
Alexandria Kuuipo Lake, major in ethnic studies.
Priscilla Maxine Swafu, major, family and consumer studies.
Asian Pacific minor.
Asian Pacific minor.
Heather Lynn Agard, major in gender studies, major in sociology.
Kara Diane Rhodes, major gender studies, major communication.
Kelsey Nicole Falvo, major in gender studies, major in communication.
Sama Safiullah, major gender studies and major urban ecology.
Jacelyn Lawson, major in gender studies, major in health, society, and policy.
Grace Ann Matthews, major gender studies, major international studies.
Allie Nicole Timmons, major in gender studies, major in neuroscience, minor in chemistry.
Just stand there and look pretty. Ellen Marie Lewis, major gender studies, major film and media arts.
Jessica Carmen Valdez, major in gender studies, major in psychology, minor in Spanish.
Madeline Kate Gardner, major gender studies, major marketing.
Avery Rose Evans, major in gender studies, major in communication.
Kiana Marie Opre, major gender studies, major English.
Nasirian Montet, major in gender studies, major in political science.
Erin Feely, major gender studies, major family, community, and human development.
Mahala Gudrun Lotz, major in gender studies, major in sociology, minor in religious studies.
Olga Hernandez Favela, major gender studies, major economics.
Taylor Ann Crenshaw, major in gender studies, major in sociology, minor in political science.
Abriana Estela de Leon Stewart, major gender studies, major sociology.
Taj Robert Reynolds, major in gender studies, minor in leadership studies, minor in nutrition.
Sierra K. Brugink and Gus Brugink, major gender studies, disability studies, major gender studies, and minor in flirting.
Emma Lucy Sharfs, major in gender studies.
Marley Talvatia, major gender studies.
Okay, everyone, nothing fancy now. The fanciness is ended. Just go think outrageous thoughts. And may we have a round of applause for our amazing band. I think that added so much today. You are out now dismissed, and just keep on celebrating. Again, thank you to our 2019 graduates. Woo-hoo!